Under the neoliberal version of capitalism we've had in the US since Reagan, government policy has looked something like this. Every administration makes people more vulnerable by cutting social and public services, refusing to raise the minimum wage, pushing back the age of retirement, defunding things like the NLRB to weaken unions, and deepening government deficits not for anything useful, but to increase incarceration, policing, military spending, and private deregulation. It's how you get graphs like these, and cops that look like this. The neoliberal mantra is that you make things better for businesses by pulling the rug out from organized labor, making endless calls for everyone to become an entrepreneur, more cops, and forcing people to take on more debt, either through student loans or credit cards. People need to pay this debt back, and to do that, you work longer hours, at worse jobs, for lower real wages in a society that, year after year, increases the pool of people who can't afford an unexpected $500 hospital bill. Thanks to outsourcing, automation, and leaner business practices geared towards maximizing stock prices, there are fewer real, non-gig jobs, and more people need to work 2 or 3 of them to get by. At the same time, more and more privatized services, like housing, also means things like rent keep increasing. And just like that, you've created widespread poverty and insecurity with fewer solutions to escape it and more dire consequences for those who can't. But that's not enough. Managing this widespread insecurity that's so beneficial for capitalist accumulation is difficult without conceding any ground to activists and organized workers. So it starts being in the state's interest to redefine our concept of crime and apply it more broadly to the state's targets so it can manage this situation. People don't usually love that their needs aren't being met no matter what they do, and they might start getting the funny idea that upsetting this status quo, taking back control, and redistributing wealth and power more fairly is a good thing. They could start organizing, imposing demands on their bosses, taking charge of their neighborhoods themselves, or just trying their best to get on an equal footing with those born into privilege. That sort of behavior, the more it starts threatening the stability and negative peace of this violent system, needs to become labeled as irrational and criminal so it can be justifiably repressed to protect the exclusive entitlements of a few. So now media organizations, both news and entertainment, government bodies, courts, and politicians start moving the goalpost on what they consider crime. And upholding this system, exploiting workers, keeping people exposed to the daily violence of not having enough, that's not part of their definition.